Leo, today isn't just another Tuesday. It's your day. The energy swirling around you right now is rare, powerful, and deeply personal. We're talking about the most abundant 24 hours of your year, maybe even your life. And I need you to hear this clearly: your cosmic jackpot is opening. Not tomorrow. Not someday. Today. You didn't find this video by accident. Something in your energy field called it in. You might not even realize how aligned you already are, but here you are listening, sensing, feeling that something is shifting. Let me ask you something real. Have you been quietly waiting for a break, a sign, or just some kind of confirmation that you haven't been walking this path alone? That all your patience, your resilience, your silent work hasn't been for nothing? If you feel like the last few months have stretched you in ways you didn't expect. If you've been giving more than you've been receiving. If you've been showing up with heart but wondering if anyone or anything just noticing. This message is your answer. The universe is noticing. And it's already in motion. That wheel you've been turning with your own hands, in the dark, when no one was watching. It's about to lift you. Because October 14th isn't just a date on the calendar. It's an energetic opening. A pocket of time where fate and free will collide and you get to choose to receive. And yes, that could look like money. Or it could be the conversation that changes everything. The clarity you've been praying for. A door you thought was shut forever finally creaking open. And here's what's wild: this isn't about striving harder. It's not about fixing yourself or manifesting perfectly. It's about recognizing that you've already aligned with something bigger. That by simply choosing to keep showing up even when it's hard, you've opened a divine pathway that's now ready to deliver. You may have noticed repeating numbers lately. 777, 111, 999. If so, don't ignore them. That's not your imagination. That's real spiritual data. Those numbers aren't here to entertain you, they're here to confirm you. To say, yes, this is for you. So let me ask you, which number has been following you around? Drop it in the comments right now, not just to share it, but to anchor it. Every comment is an energetic confirmation. It's you saying, yes, I'm here. I'm awake. I'm ready. And I want to take a quiet moment to thank you. For being here. For giving your energy to this space. Every like, every comment, every time you return to this channel helps keep it alive, and you bring something special into this sacred field we're building together here at Eternal Mindfulness. So if you're still with me, take a breath. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're not late. You are exactly on time for what's opening now. Stay with me to the end of this video. Because the more you understand what's unfolding today, the easier it becomes to receive it fully. Don't rush past this. You've waited long enough. Now it's time to receive. There's something about October 14th that doesn't ask for attention but commands presence if you're willing to slow down and notice. And Leo, if you've made it this far, I know you're not just chasing another forecast. You're tuning into something deeper, something that might finally explain why you felt the quiet tension building inside your spirit. On this day, the moon moves through Taurus, an earth sign rooted in tangible value, in stability, in what we build and protect with love. But what's happening now isn't just about astrology, it's about alignment. It's about a mirror being held up to your life, not to shame you or correct you, but to lovingly show you what's ready to be restored. The Taurus moon doesn't speak in riddles. It shows you clearly where you've been giving too much with too little return. It lights up the parts of your life that are aching for more peace, more structure, more nourishment. And if you've been working hard behind the scenes emotionally, financially, relational, this moon reflects it all back to you like a sacred inventory. Here's what's solid, here's what's not, and here's what could flourish. If only you'd stop ignoring your own needs. And just when you think you've seen all there is, Venus comes into a perfect trine with Uranus, a rare, electric alignment that delivers sweetness in the most unexpected ways. Venus rules love, money, beauty, and how we receive. Uranus? It shakes things up. So when these two energies dance in harmony, we don't get chaos, we get sudden, sacred breakthroughs. The kind that arrive like soft thunder, a call from someone you haven't spoken to in years, a message in your inbox you never thought would come, a new opportunity that feels just right. That's the cosmic door opening, not because you chased it, but because you're finally standing still long enough for it to land. In your current tarot field, I'm seeing two powerful archetypes rise to the surface, the Empress and the Wheel of Fortune. The Empress is not about hustle. She's about trust, nurturing what's real, what's growing, what's already within. She reminds you that you don't have to fight for what's already aligned with your soul. You just have to let it bloom. And the Wheel of Fortune? That's no gentle nudge. That's a signal from the universe that timing is moving, fate is unfolding, and what's meant for you can no longer be held back, not by fear, not by doubt, not even by time itself. You may not feel ready, but readiness isn't a requirement here, willingness is. And willingness often begins with just a pause. A breath. A moment of soft honesty. If you've been feeling worn thin, if your spirit's been waiting for some kind of sign that it's okay to receive again, this is it. And not because you've earned it by doing everything perfectly, but because you've shown up imperfectly with consistency, with love, and with faith. I've walked this path too. I've known what it feels like to pray in silence and wonder if anyone was listening. But I've also witnessed how the tiniest cracks in our faith can become openings for light to rush in. And today, Leo, the light is not only rushing in, it's waiting for you to say yes. So let yourself notice. Let yourself feel the shift. And if something within you whispers, "This is for me," don't brush it off. Instead, take a moment and comment below. What is the one thing you feel might finally be turning in your favor? Let your words be your confirmation. Not just to me, but to yourself. Because on this day, the universe isn't just watching you. It's answering you. This part of the journey isn't for the curious, it's for the ready. The truth is, not everyone reaches this stage. It's not because the universe is withholding, or that cosmic rewards are reserved for some chosen few. It's because alignment is a frequency you don't stumble into. You grow into it. You choose it again and again, often without applause, often in silence. So when I say you're standing at the doorway of a cosmic jackpot, I don't mean it like a lottery ticket waiting to be scratched. I mean it like a sacred echo that's finally circling back to you after everything you've poured into the world when no one was watching. Jackpot energy doesn't belong to the ones who hustle the hardest. It finds the ones who've done the work within. Who've walked away from people pleasing. Who've released the need to shrink or mask just to be accepted. Who've learned, sometimes through heartbreak, how to speak their truth even if their voice shook. If you've done any of that lately, even just one piece of it, you've lit the frequency. You've shifted the pattern. You've stepped out of survival mode and into resonance. The energy right now is precise. If you've been seeing number codes 777, 999, 111, it's not some cute synchronicity. It's energetic data. Think of it like spiritual GPS. 777 means you're exactly where you need to be. Right now. No delay. 999 means something old is closing. Stop gripping it. Let the page turn. 111 means the new beginning isn't waiting on fatigue, it's waiting on you. Confirm it. And if you've seen those numbers lately, say so. Comment 111 if you feel like a door is trying to open. Let your own voice be the signal back. These aren't just comments. They're energetic permissions. A declaration that you're not going to keep waiting on life to happen, you're going to meet it halfway. See, the universe doesn't work on effort alone. It works on alignment. And alignment doesn't mean you've got everything together, it means you're honest enough to notice what's no longer working. It means you're willing to release outdated roles. It means you trust that the emptiness left behind is space being made for something more truthful, more expansive, more you. When we talk about jackpot energy, it's easy to think money, success, some big flashy reward. And sometimes, yes, it can come through in those forms. But the real jackpot? It's that deep, unshakable knowing inside you that you're no longer abandoning yourself. That you don't have to earn love through exhaustion. That your voice matters even if it cracks. That you are not here to be convenient. You're here to be clear, to be whole, to be lit from the inside out. I've watched people reach this frequency and not even recognize it because they're still waiting for the blessing to look like fireworks. But Leo, your blessing may arrive as peace. As a soft no to something that once controlled you. As a new yes that doesn't need explanation. This is what it looks like when energy turns in your favor, not because you forced it, but because you finally matched it. So breathe into that. Let this be the part where you stop hoping and start claiming. Drop a comment not just to engage, but to root your energy. Say, I'm ready. Say, I see the signs. Say, I'm not going back. Because jackpot energy isn't passive. It shows up when you do. And right now, you're exactly where you need to be. There comes a moment on every journey when what we're seeking outside of us begins to soften, not because we've given up, but because we've realized we're no longer chasing something out there. That moment is what I believe you're touching right now. And Leo, if you've been doing the quiet work of choosing yourself, especially when it wasn't easy, especially when it wasn't loud, then what's unfolding for you now is more than luck. It's recognition. And it runs deeper than money, status, or applause. This particular part of your astrological moment isn't about material gain, though that may still arrive. What's rising is something far more transformative, the power of being seen as you truly are, not for what you offer, not for what you produce, but for who you've allowed yourself to become when no one else was watching. That's a different kind of wealth. That's internal alignment. And for someone like you whose sign rules authenticity, heart, and courage, that kind of alignment is the ultimate jackpot. When you stop looking for permission to be real, everything changes. You stop performing for rooms that never knew how to hold your truth. You stop editing your light to fit someone else's dim expectations. And most importantly, you stop betraying your own needs to keep the peace in places that were never built for your kind of fire. That's what this energy is about. No, it's not just handing you something external. It's returning you to a place inside yourself that's been waiting for your full presence. It's asking, can you stand in who you are without apology, even if no one claps? You might have noticed it in subtle ways. Show a phrase someone said hit a little deeper than usual. How a piece of music randomly playing made your chest tighten in a way you couldn't explain. Or how someone unexpectedly reached out just when you were questioning everything. That's not coincidence. That's alignment. That's what it feels like when the universe says, I see you. And now it's your turn to see yourself. I know the world doesn't always reward quiet transformation. The kind that happens when you forgive yourself without needing to earn it. The kind that takes years of unraveling old stories just to find your own voice again. But the truth is, those invisible victories are the ones that shift timelines. They're the ones that prepare your field for real blessings. And this is why today feels different. Because the energy around you isn't asking you to chase, it's inviting you to receive. You don't need to explain your path. You don't need to convince anyone that you've done the work. If you're standing here with a softened heart and a clearer voice, that is proof enough. You chose to come home to yourself. And in doing so, you've sent a signal to the universe far louder than words. I'm not waiting to be chosen. I already am. So if something resonates today, whether it's this message, a line, a thought, or a feeling that stirs something old but true, let that be your sign. Let that be your inner confirmation. And if you feel it, I invite you to share below. Say, I see myself now. Not for me. For you. Because claiming that truth out loud, even just in a comment, has more energetic power than you might realize. This isn't about proving your worth. It's about remembering it. And right now, the universe isn't just offering you a reward, it's reflecting your return. You came back to your center. You stopped shrinking. You opened. And that, Leo, is the most valuable thing of all. Most people think big change comes from dramatic decisions or loud declarations. But the truth is, real transformation often starts in moments so quiet, you'd miss them if you weren't paying attention. And Leo, if you've been doing the inner work, letting go, showing up, getting honest, then you know this already. The most powerful shifts happen when you stop pushing and start allowing. That's the space you're in now. This part of your journey is not about striving harder, it's about choosing differently. Not bigger, not faster, just truer. One of the things I've learned, both through my work and my own life, is that clarity doesn't always come through a lightning bolt. Sometimes, it's the decision to say no to something that drains you. Or the moment you catch yourself spiraling in self-blame and instead choose a gentler thought. That's energy work. That's alignment. That's how you begin to rewire your field, not by force, but through permission. And the universe always responds to permission. Right now, the invitation isn't to hustle harder. It's to slow down enough to notice where your energy is leaking, where you've been on autopilot, and where you can shift just slightly towards something more aligned. Maybe it's a habit you've outgrown. Maybe it's a relationship dynamic that no longer reflects your truth. Maybe it's the story you've been telling yourself about what you deserve, or how long you have to wait to feel better. That's the terrain. That's where the real wealth begins to form. There's something powerful about writing things down. Not for productivity, not for performance, but as an act of reverence. When you sit with yourself and name the 3 things you're no longer willing to carry, whether it's shame, obligation, or a constant need to purvey, doing more than journaling, you're drawing new boundaries in the energetic map of your life. You're creating space. And the universe? It fills space. I often tell people that self-help isn't about fixing yourself. It's about stopping the war against who you already are. It's about making space for your own truth to breathe. So when I say, drink a warm glass of water and whisper, I'm ready to receive, I don't mean it as a ritual for ritual's sake. I mean it as a practice of presence. Because how often do we actually pause and acknowledge that we're ready? How often do we claim it with our whole body, our whole breath? And when those old thoughts come in, the ones I'm not enough, or I should be further along, or maybe it's too late voices. Try responding differently. Not with resistance, but with kindness. Try saying, I am loved, even in this. That kind of affirmation doesn't come from ego, it comes from deep knowing. It doesn't deny where you are. It affirms that you're still worthy, right in the middle of it. These small actions might seem soft. They might seem too simple to matter. But in the energetic realm, they move mountains. They reroute timelines. They signal that you're no longer waiting for life to choose you, you're choosing yourself, every single day. And that's how abundance finds you. Not through desperation. Not through hustle. But through quiet, grounded readiness. So ask yourself gently, what would shift if you treated your energy like sacred currency? What would open if you stopped spending it where it isn't valued? This isn't about doing more. It's about choosing with more care. And Leo, you've already done the hard part, now it's time to make space for what's meant to arrive. One breath, one shift, one soft yes at a time. Sometimes, the most powerful shifts don't come from new beginnings, they come from how you return to what's familiar, but with new eyes. Leo, you've been walking a path of transformation, not by leaving everything behind, but by softening back into yourself. This is the point in your journey where everything you've been healing, questioning, and rewriting within you starts to show up in the world around you, especially in love, work, and your relationship with your own body. Let's talk about love, because for a heart like yours, it's never surface level. If someone from your past circles back, and it might happen now, under the influence of this season, you're being asked to pause. Not to question whether you still care, but to ask whether the connection is growing from new ground. Has there been real growth, not just time? Are both of you moving from truth, or just from habit? Because you, Leo, deserve love that reflects your evolution, not just your history. And if it's not love that's returning but a new spark forming, let it unfold slowly. You don't need to rush what's real. Love, when it's ready for you, won't ask you to dim your light. In your work, the opportunities coming your way might surprise you. Something you thought was lost could reappear. An idea you buried might start stirring again. And here's what I want you to remember: you're not the same person who once feared you weren't ready. You've earned the right to see this next step not as pressure but as permission. Permission to show up with confidence. Permission to trust that your vision is valid. If something unexpected lands at your feet, don't step back too quickly. Breathe. Feel it. Look again. This might be the moment your past preparation finally meets its moment. Now let's return to something even closer: your own body, your breath, your well-being. You don't need a flawless routine. You don't need to go from zero to perfect. You need presence. You need consistency. And most of all, you need compassion. One slow inhale in the morning. One warm glass of water that reminds your body it's safe. One sentence of kindness to yourself before the world speaks. That's not nothing. That's foundational. Because every external success, every aligned opportunity, flows more freely when your nervous system isn't living in survival mode. Give yourself that gift. Every day. And there are tools you can hold on to, tangible, visual ones that support this energetic shift. Today, gold and emerald green carry resonance for you. Gold reminds your spirit that you are worthy of visibility, of celebration, of standing in your full power without apology. Emerald green grounds you in abundance, not just financial, but emotional, relational, holistic. These colors are more than decoration. They are frequency holders. Wear them, light a candle in their tones, let them surround you as reminders that you're already enough and what's meant for you is only enhanced by your presence, not defined by your effort. This part of your life is no longer about proving anything. It's about aligning your actions with the truth you now carry. You're learning to live, love, and lead from a state of enoughness. That's not arrogance. That's restoration. And when you lead from that space, everything begins to respond, not because you chased it, but because you finally became available to receive it. So if something in this resonates, even quietly, take a moment and let that be your acknowledgement. Whisper it. Write it. Live it. Because Leo, this isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you are and finally letting the world meet that version of you without filter, without fear. That's the kind of success no one can take away. And that's the life you're stepping into now. Leo, you don't have to chase magic, you are the magic. You don't have to prove your worth through grand gestures or perfect timing. The moment you choose to honor your truth, to breathe deeply into the present, and to take one aligned step with intention, that's when life begins to shift. And it's already happening. Quietly, steadily, beautifully. You've weathered seasons of doubt. You've carried more than most people ever saw. And yet here you are, awake, willing, and ready to live from a place of enoughness. That alone is sacred. That alone is powerful. You've already proven your resilience. What if now is the time to trust your readiness? The cosmic jackpot we've spoken about today isn't a prize that lives outside of you. It's the natural unfolding of the work you've done in silence. It's the energy that builds when you stop waiting for permission and start claiming your own path. It's what happens when your frequency becomes too aligned to ignore. And now, the question isn't whether abundance is available to you, it's whether you'll choose to receive it. So let me ask you something gentle, but powerful. What would happen if you stopped asking for signs and started being one? What would shift if you woke up tomorrow and acted as if the life you've been dreaming of was already arriving? Because the truth is, Leo, it is. You are not behind. You are not late. You are right on time. And this moment, this breath, this video might be the confirmation your spirit has been quietly waiting for. If it is, don't just nod along. Claim it. Anchor it. Let the universe know you're no longer waiting passively participating. Comment below with 777 if you're ready to open the door. Type 999 if you're done holding on to what no longer reflects who you've become. And if this message stirred something real inside of you, declare it with, I receive my cosmic jackpot. Your words matter. They don't just echo in the comments section, they echo in the field around you. And if you found value here, if even one sentence touched your heart, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to Eternal Mindfulness, and share it with someone who might need this light today. Because when you raise your frequency, you don't rise alone. You become a quiet lighthouse for others still finding their way. Let that be your legacy, not just what you build or achieve, but how your presence ripples into the lives around you. And always remember, you're not searching for the light. You are the light. You're not waiting for a miracle. You're the one who makes space for miracles to enter. Thank you truly for spending this sacred moment with me. I see your heart. I honor your path. And I can't wait to see what opens for you next.